Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all well. My name's Kenley. This channel is dedicated to sharing my experiences and my healing journey from autoimmune disorder or disease and health issues related to that, and sharing what I know to be true, what's worked for me. That's not to say that it will work for everybody, but at least it's a step up from going to your doctors and then just repeating a load of bullshit from a book, from a university, from a teacher, lecturer, etc, etc. And so I'm not just regurgitating what someone else has told me. I'm not just repeating something I've read out of a book. I'm not just sharing what I've seen on TV. I'm walking that walk and with the shoes still on my feet. That being said, I'll get on with today's video. So today's video is all about 3 signs of possible autoimmune disorder or disease. So the most common ones that I had. I've already covered the headaches, I believe depression, and I can't remember 100% what the last one was, but it was 3 symptoms of autoimmune. So if you want to check that out before this one, feel free to do so. So 3 signs of possible autoimmune disease. Food allergies and or sensitivities, especially if it's allergies towards fruit, vegetables and natural, foods in those sort of categories. So one reason for this is autoimmune messes with the gut flora and the balance of the natural good bacteria. One of those that can get out of normal ranges is Candida, otherwise known as a yeast overgrowth, which, whether you know or not, is, like a pandemic across the whole world, male, female, adult, children, you name it, and it manifests in many different symptoms and ailments. But one sign that your gut flora is out of balance and not, in the greatest of health is colic type stomach aches, irritable bowel syndrome, which is obviously, changes in bowel movements in the same, toilet movement, if you like. So, you could be having a number 2 and you feel constipated, and then you get sort of like a sharp pain or a cramping sensation, and you could end up with loose stools diarrhea, and it can swing between these two, you know, depending on how severe it is and from person to person. So skin rashes, oversensitive skin, and skin allergies. So the main reason for this is when the immune system, and I might just add that your immune system, my immune system, is very less spoken about than you would actually think. And so what I'm going to say about that before I get on to, you know, the explanation of the last symptom is you only ever hear about blood test this and blood test that. We've done blood work for this and we've done blood work for that. That might be all well and good, but there's two halves to your immune system. The same as when you have a child, there's two halves to make that child, right? Which is the man and the woman's DNA and genetics. And so it's less about this channel and me personally being against medicine. Medicine, what I used to believe back in the day, when it was more medicine than it is today, used to, you know, be a service for treating people. And, you know, it was basically founded and geared up to help people heal and get better. And while that might seem like I'm stating the obvious, which it obviously is, these days, everywhere I look, everyone I speak to, and every experience that I have had with doctors and the, you know, medical, in inverted commas, professionals, and I use the term loosely and not to be derogative, not to be disrespectful, but they only give you half of the story. And by that I mean that the second half of your immune system is the great lymphatic system. So what does the lymphatic system do? Well, the main job for the lymphatic system is the body's waste disposal system, really. So this is how you eliminate toxins, cellular and biological waste, and dead matter and cells. So that, you might be thinking, well, yeah, well, when you take into consideration the numbers of people being diagnosed with autoimmune, which basically means your immune system's started automatically, and it could have been triggered, it might not have been. You might be born with the autoimmune, you might not have been. So it could be triggered by trauma, which is a big factor, as in abuse, trauma as in a bad accident, trauma as in a shock to the system. So why does that happen? Well, when your body goes into stress mode, shock mode, or is involved in some kind of trauma, whether it be emotional, physical, or any other way, your body releases a chemical hormone called cortisol. And that is a stress hormone which tells your body to alert the systems available and to be on alert and be on the lookout and to get ready for action. And I mean, it's just, hypothetically speaking, it's a theory of my own, maybe shared by other people, I'm not sure. But there's a lot of talk about autoimmune and hereditary, or, sort of random cases of flares, of autoimmune nature, right? So, and, like behavioural disorders, personality disorders, emotional disorders, if you like, or dysregulation. And so many years ago, I would have laughed myself out of my own little village where I live. Now, after researching and years of, just being interested in this subject, which I am, that's what's driven me to research and guinea pig myself. And the only way that, you can truly find what is a true fact, as in it is scientifically proven, is to do an experiment, record the results and what you found out, and then come to a conclusion and your opinion and put that down in writing or over in words, the overall outcome. And so that's what I've done for the past several years. I've tried and tested mainly changes in my diet. And the profound answer that I came to ultimately was, oh my God, I can't believe that changing my diet, and it might sound absolutely pathetically stupid, call it what you will, ignorant, who cares, right, what you want to call it, but I turned my health around, and I mean not just a little bit, in a profound way, by cutting out all dairy, butter, cheese, milk, cheese, yogurt, cutting all that out, cutting out nearly 100% grains. I cut out bread and pasta, rice, things like that. Not because of the carbohydrates. Going on this lifestyle diet change was nothing to do with weight or anything like that. I wanted to get better. And all I was offered by my general practitioner was immunosuppressants. And so I'll rewind slightly. Everywhere I look, everywhere I go, even when I look in the mirror, people I talk to in the street, people who are strangers, who I might be, that I might happen to meet, everywhere I go, there's a recurring pattern emerging. And that pattern is, we're all backed up with shit, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And I believe one of the reasons for this is repression. So when you're repressed, it's basically, I like to explain it like, depression is feeling weighed down, stuck to the floor, weight of the world on your shoulders, pushed in, pushed down, pushed whatever, to, you can't get any lower. So I believe the main issue with this is, what's the opposing flip side of the coin to repression? Obviously it's expression. What is the meaning of expression? To express something is to get off of the chest, get out, whatever it is, whether that's a painting, a picture, verbalizing feelings and emotions, thoughts, you name it, to get something out in a healthy manner. So repression, whoever came to a conclusion that there is any type of healthy repression, there is slightly grey areas where you can say, well, there's a time and a place. Yeah, use your head, use, your human intelligence, for God's sakes. Because, let's face it, it's not as common as it used to be, in my opinion. So yeah, repressive is something, I'm sick of hearing it, sick of seeing it, sick of feeling it, sick of being advised to do it. Because all that leads to is a build-up, a blockage, emotional blockage. And in regards to your lymphatic system, dairy products, breads and things of yeast, based products really have a bad effect on the kidneys. Now, because we live in a stressful society, there's a lot of people suffering with adrenal fatigue, and your adrenaline glands just sit on the top of both kidneys, right? That's your fight or flight or freeze response. So basically, they kick in whenever you have any perceived physical, emotional or environmental stress. So these kick in, release cortisol, your body's on the alert, and so there's no problem with that. That's a normal, natural, process that the body partakes in. The problem arises when, if you think about it like a car, if you've got your foot on the gas and you're revving it and you're revving it and you're revving it and you keep revving it, but you're not really going anywhere, but you're just getting ready, so you keep your foot, you're going to run out of gas until, the engine cuts out. And so what I'm saying is, adrenal fatigue, I'm seeing it more and more in the younger generation. And let's face it, what are the younger generation? I'm a mum myself. I'm still not a child, but I'm somebody's daughter. I'll never not be their child, even though I'm an adult. But, we've got to try and guide our children, by leading by example. And we're leading them astray, and we're leading them into bad health, disease. Look at the word disease. It's dis-ease on a cellular level. You can't just get out your body and leave it behind and get a new one, because we're trapped on a cellular level. probably where the word cell, as in prison cell, came from, because, you know, you might be able to wander about in your mind, per se, but you can't, you know, just step out of this skin suit, if you like. And so, going back to the lymphatic system, the Western diet, and it is by design, and I buy some of these foods myself, obviously. The reason being, same reason we all do it, is for the sheer convenience. So we trade off hunting and gathering and foraging for the convenience. And so there's risks that go hand in hand with that. And it's an exchange of energy, which is usually currency, which is, you know, I mean, what do we use money for? In exchange for time. I know which one is more valuable, in my opinion. And so, we're all brought up, you know, your parents can basically say, don't do this, don't do that. But at the end of the day, monkey see, monkey do. It's how we all learn. And so we don't ever step back from our parents' parenting and question anything. We just run the program that we've been taught by watching and growing up in certain environments. And while I'm not pointing the finger for any blame, the reason for my channel is for me to take responsibility for me. But this diet has a profound, not just the diet, but the medical industry, the diet and the sedentary lives that we tend to lead now because of jobs, whatever, you know, it is what it is. It's having an immense and negative effect on the lymphatic system. And so if you can't get rid of your waste, I'll put it in a crude way. You get full of shit, blocked up with shit, and then you walk in talking full of shit. And so you get brain fog, lack of focus, and you get all these symptoms accumulating, mainly because of toxins, pesticides, chemicals, preservatives, artificial this and artificial that. And then you get, you know, skin issues, which is like the number 3 symptom of possible autoimmune disease. Why do you get bad skin? Well, not so long ago, but in the past, the skin was referred to as the body's third kidney. Why? Because it filters out toxins. The skyrocketing rate at which not just young people but adults alike who are suffering with acne, and like the severe types of acne, like cystic acne vulgaris for one, it's astounding to say the least, and very worrying also. And so you only get skin problems like that that's ongoing when your kidneys are struggling. And from my experience, this leads down one path and one direction, and that is ultimately kidney and renal failure. And so rashes are no different. When you're running on get ready, because we're going to fight or need to defend ourselves at any second now, your body is hypervigilant, overreactive, oversensitive, and it doesn't take a lot to trigger it into a flare-up because the body's that full of toxins that it can very hardly keep up. And so these are warning signs. And so going back to the doctors and what I commented on about that situation, so you just keep going to the doctors and repressing your immune system. If you did that with your toilet, eventually you would end up with shit all over the place because it's backed up and come back into the house. And it's no different for your body, you know, and its function. And so I'm going to leave it there. I'm sorry that the video is so long. So I hope you like my video. If you don't, you don't. That's fair enough. So please put a thumbs up, put a thumbs down. Please comment if you like or if you dislike my video. Questions, if you've got any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. I'm not a doctor, I'm not qualified in medicine. All I know is that I'm walking the walk as we speak right now, and that's why I'm trying to talk this talk. And so thank you for coming to see my channel and my content. If you think this video might help anybody, please share it with them. Help spread the word, help with the algorithms of YouTube, and thank you very much. Take care, and hopefully you'll join me again soon. Goodbye.